3 million years ago in what is now Ethiopia, a man and a woman died within feet of each other, their bones fossilized side by side, buried by the same layer of ash for over 3 million years until someone dug them up and asked a question that still doesn't have a clean answer. Were they together? Not just near each other together, the way partners are together. It's a strange thing to wonder about people this old. But the answer might change how you think about love itself. Here's the question this film is going to sit with. Did our prehistoric ancestors commit to one partner the way billions of people try to today? Or is monogamy a much newer invention, something humans built later like the wheel or the alphabet? Scientists have been arguing about this for over a century, and the honest answer is messier and more interesting than a simple yes or no. To understand it, we have to go back further than marriage, further than farming, further than villages. About 7 million years ago, the ancestors of humans and the ancestors of chimpanzees split into two separate paths. Somewhere on our path, something changed. By 4.4 million years ago, a small hominin, now called Ardi, was walking upright in the forests of East Africa. And when scientists studied Ardi's teeth, they found something surprising. The male canine teeth were small. Not chimp-sized weapons for fighting rival males. Small, almost like a female's. To an anthropologist, that's a signal. In most primates, big male canines mean males are still fighting each other over females. Small canines can mean something else entirely. Less fighting, more cooperation. Possibly one partner instead of many. That single clue opened a much bigger investigation. Around 3.2 million years ago came Lucy, the most famous skeleton in human evolution. When researchers compared Lucy's bones to those of a male of her species named Katanumu, they found the size gap between males and females had shrunk, landing surprisingly close to the gap we see between men and women today. In animals, where one male fights off many rivals for a harem of females, males tend to be dramatically larger. When that size gap shrinks, it often means the fighting has calmed down and pair bonds may have taken its place. The physical clues kept adding up. Human males, compared to our body size, have relatively small testes, a trait linked in biology to less sperm competition, which happens when females mate with multiple males in a short window. Human ovulation is hidden, invisible to the eye, unlike many primates who display it obviously. And human females keep permanently enlarged breasts their entire adult lives, not just while nursing. None of these traits prove anything on their own. But together, many evolutionary biologists argue they paint a picture of a species built, at least partly, for pair bonding long before agriculture, long before recorded history. But here's where it gets complicated, because bones only tell part of the story. A famous hypothesis from anthropologist Owen Lovejoy imagines early hominin males walking upright specifically to carry food back to a single partner and her children, trading loyalty for provisioning. It's an elegant story. But other researchers built mathematical models of early human childcare and found something different. The strongest evidence wasn't for one father feeding one family. It was for cooperative breeding mothers, grandmothers, and other relatives all pitching in to raise children together, with fatherhood being just one piece of a much bigger support system. So, which is it? To find out, scientists didn't just look at fossils, they looked at us, at hundreds of documented human societies still practicing older ways of life. And the data is genuinely surprising. Across more than 1,000 recorded pre-industrial cultures, the majority technically allowed men to take more than one wife. But allowing it and practicing it are two very different things. Most marriages, even in those societies, were still monogamous in daily life, simply because supporting multiple spouses takes resources most men never had. The real ancestral pattern researchers describe isn't strict lifelong monogamy, and it isn't chaos either. It's something anthropologists call serial monogamy with flexibility, long partnerships, real fathers raising real children, alongside socially accepted divorce, remarriage, and the occasional exception. And now, the twist that flips the whole story. If pair bonding may stretch back millions of years into our bones, strict, enforced, one-partner-for-life monogamy as a hard social rule looks like a surprisingly recent invention. Some archaeologists argue it hardened only after agriculture once humans settled down, owned land, and needed to know exactly whose children would inherit it. The wandering, resource-sharing bands before that may have lived with far more flexibility than the word monogamy implies today. In other words, the biology of bonding is ancient. The law of monogamy is comparatively young. So did prehistoric humans stay with one partner? The honest answer, sometimes, often, but never as an absolute rule carved into human nature. Evolution gave us the capacity to bond deeply with one other person. The same brain chemistry found in loyal prairie voles lights up in loyal humans too. But evolution also built in room to adapt, to separate, to rebuild when circumstances demanded it. We are not a species locked into one mating system. We are a species built for connection and flexible enough to survive whatever love throws at us. Maybe that's not a disappointing answer. Maybe that's the most human answer there is.